everybody, welcome back to Fandom Fridays. It's Christmas, it's enjoyable, and I've only got 1 week left. Uh, you know, I always sad when December 25th rolls around because then I get to miss out on doing this. I mean, on the bright side, I get to go back to doing a whole bunch of normal fanfics, but on the other hand, I'll miss out on doing all these really great Christmas fics. Hello? Time to move on and time to check out what else we got. I wonder how five certain girls that I love very, very, very much handles Christmas. Well, let's find out, shall we? A Gift of the Heart by the Pink One. A Gift of the Heart. Chapter 1. Only chapter. Lillian was just putting the last 3 boxes of musical paraphernalia away in the attic after Eric's funeral. It had been a hellish 2 months. Between Kyle's birth, Younglin's passing to kindergarten, the holidays, and then Eric's death. Hay set the boxes down and looked around to stack them.
Gotta be somewhere easy to get to, for when I miss him too much,
She deliberated.
like now.
With a sigh, she cleared every desk bunny from the area, climbed the rest of the way up the ladder herself, and sat in the doorframe. The top box of the 3 was the one she almost never wanted to see again. It held her poor sweetheart's saxophone, along with all the cleaning tools and parts for it. She was the guardian of air, able to evoke the sounds of the past from any object, and found herself whistling simultaneously to hold the tenor sax of her lover one more time, to hear the sweet music he had been able to conjure forth from a cold brass and hot breath, and fervently wanting to smash the mute instrument into his component elements, so to never hear it again. With a tearful sob, she pushed that box into a far corner.
Maybe someday, if our kid turns musical, I'll dig it out for him.
She had a few years to wait for that heartbreaking moment, at least. The second box was full of compact discs and DVDs, mostly of jazz concerts and bands Eric had either played or idolized. One core of it was cobalt blue, both from before and after Eric had joined Matt, Nigel, Joel, and Dom. She ran her hands over the spines of the cases, reading off bands and hearing the melodies in her head. She and Eric had listened to music together every night. Sometimes it was whole discographies, occasionally just one album over and over again, if they were too busy with each other to change the disc. Cursing herself again for getting dragged back into the memory hell, Hay pushed the box aside and she brought the one back down again soon. She knew, simply because she couldn't live in the otherwise silent house without him. She hadn't packed away all of her music, just anything he played on the saxophone. Hay turned to the last box.
Come on, open it,
She admonished, staring down at the telegraph knickknacks Elion had inscribed on the top. Her friends and his, bless them, had left her to the caring of her newborn son, and quietly packed away anything they were certain would overwhelm her. She was almost glad she hadn't seen them all had gone into each box. If the first 2 had been any indication, she would gladly never look in this one again either, until her heart was a distant semblance of whole again. An errant line came to her mind from an old movie. Looking at a box is like looking at the future. You never know what's there until you open it. Then, of course, it's too late.
except that this box isn't the future. It's the past, sealed up and ready to be put away, hopefully to be remembered only when it isn't this painful,
She mused.
Heart help me.
She murmured, and then popped the lid open. She was glad that she was already sitting down. On top was her wedding album, barely a year old. She gulped back fresh hot tears at the picture of herself and Eric on the cover, in matching green dress and tuxedo, green for the start of their new lives together, like fresh buds on a tree, as Cornelia had said about them that morning. She hurriedly flipped the album up and out of view, behind the box. Those memories were still fresh, too. All too fresh, too real, to look at it like this. What lay under the album was almost a relief to see in comparison. Her old white jewelry box, with its pleather covering, was next. She lifted the lid, gasped out in shock. Every piece of jewelry Eric had ever given her, from the corny crackerjack whistle rings he first jokingly proposed with back in high school, to his wedding band, sitting forlornly in a holder by itself in the corner. She pulled it back fervently, and tried on every one of her own fingers. The only one he didn't try to slide right back off was the right thumb.
Figures, she tutted. My painting can.
She reluctantly pulled it back off. It stuck it back in place in the box, then shut the lid. She looked at the jewelry box to find a stack of t-shirts.
I thought I told you guys to donate his clothes,
She accused, dropping the jewelry box back in. It made a clang as the metal foot of one of the corner met the other shirts.
What in the world?
Pulling the white box back out, she started to feel through the pile of tees. She saw why the boys of Cobalt Blue hadn't sent these shirts up the river with the rest of Eric's donations. Each one of them was from the tours. 6 in all, and they were her shirts, not Eric's. Fresh tears came to her eyes at her friend's thorough thoughtfulness. She finally found what was under the shirts and pulled it out.
This should have been with the other CDs,
Hay thought, looking at the metal gift case. Then she saw the writing on the side. It had this last year's Christmas scrawled on across it, in Eric's handwriting. She blinked and opened the case and wondered what in the world would be in it. The disc inside simply read, Merry Christmas, Witch. Setting the case aside, she put everything else back in the box without looking too closely. Then pushed the third box over with the other two. Packing back up the mystery disc case, she went down the ladder and set the attic access. Hay was soon ensconced in her favorite comfortable beanbag chair on her. Her! She thought with a pang. Brand new flat screen television. Disc running. Remote hand. Tissues nearby. Hay Linden waited for her final Christmas video from her dear departed husband to play. She knew it was coming, but her heart still skipped a beat when she saw Eric's face on the screen. He was way too close and out of focus. Hey, is this running? His lovely voice said, as he sobbed happily, nodding like a toddler back at the screen. He stepped back, and the eyes soon tightened on him. All right, guys, from the top, Matt Olson's voice said from off screen. Eric moved back to the left, picking up his saxophone as he went. The rest of Cobalt Blue came into view behind him. A bass riff from Tarani's husband Nigel Ashcroft strummed out, and the band set into a lovely instrumental version of Jingle Bell Rock. Hay sat through it, quietly crying, giggling along with the band when the keyboardists Dominic Michaels and Eric started on a wild departure for their solos, segueing into something that sounded like a jazzy Silent Night. Note to self, fine jazzy Silent Night. The 5 men stopped at the same note in the way of their well-rehearsed and clapping could be heard off camera. Don't get too cocky, princess. You're up next, Joel said, and Helen gasped when Cornelia's little sister, Lillian, spoke in the movie next.
You bet your new van, Blondie,
the teen heart of hers told the drummer as he moved a set of cymbals to the further right. Matt waved a hand as Lillian stood forward to take the mic. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. The usual lead singer of the band called, holding up one more finger for each time, and on 4, the boys set off again. And Hay couldn't help but laugh as Lillian started to sing Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. 2-month-old Kyle stirred at the sound of his mother's laughter and started burbling, edging into the whining of the unfamiliar noise coming from his nursery into the living room. As soon as she heard him, Hay hit pause and flew in to scoop him up.
Hey, little guy, you want to hear your daddy play?
She cooed, forgetting in the light her son's smile how much she had been avoiding Eric's music in their house until just then.
Come on, let's get all the aunties together and let them hear it too. It's for all of us, after all.
10 minutes and 3 phone calls later. Irma had already been at Will's. Helen was digging in her cupboards for the movie snacks, finally setting some hot air popped kettle corn, and so settled herself and Kyle back in the beanbag chair when the other 4 members of W.I.T.C.H came in, their 3 children in tow. He surrendered a chair with a grin to Chloe, Iggy, and Mallory. The 3 4-year-olds all fit, barely, with just enough room for the 2 little girls to hold baby Kyle. He started the video over and took advantage of the first song to tell Cornelia, Irma, and Tarani, and Will about where he had found a surprise desk. Okay, 3 kids. Okay, let's see. This said, okay, 3 kids. So, I'm guessing 1 for Cornelia, 1 for Will, and 1 for Tarani. Irma's up in the air.
Elliot must not have noticed it when the Between the sets once you put them in that box,
Cornelia said, knowing the Queen of Meridian was without any malice.
I bet Eric had hidden it to surprise you on Christmas Day.
The Earth Guardian was interrupted by the sound of her sister's voice.
Holy hoppin' hibberus, that little brat! She says he wasn't able to get off work!
She must have been conniving with Matt for weeks, Irma crowed, as he watched the four kids' Aunt Lillian rocking out with their favorite band. Will and Tarani, who had known about the surprise recording session in advance, though not about the content, traded furtive guilty glances, before sitting back and enjoying the show as well. Lillian ended the song with a long sustained note, and the five guys behind her all went out on a finish. They all exchanged high fives in the video, and the five women got a laugh as little Iggy tried to teach Kyle how to clap hands. Hey oohed as Carrot came back to the camera.
I haven't watched past Lillian singing yet,
she said quietly, as the other Guardians all joined hands with her to keep her grounded. Will, Eric said, Irma, Tarani, Cornelia, hey, I know someday you five are going to have your powers on. And God forgive my selfishness for being the one to say I hope someday soon. The girls all laughed quietly along with the band and Lily in the video. But we all wanted to know, no matter how many Guardians Canterguard chooses, you five are the best. So, we wrote a little something for you. Merry Christmas, Amate. He stepped back with swimming the rest of the band. Lils? She nodded. The boys started playing again. It was a hard-hitting song none of the girls had heard before, but they found out why as Lillian started singing it again. You people might want to get the video up. This is going to be awesome. They are! Witch! They are. There is a place where darkness reigns. They've got the power to fight back. They say today, united as one, they can become more than you know. The heart will lead to what they can control. Water, fire, earth, and air, Guardians unite! They are witch! They are witch! They fight for life, they fight for truth. This is their revolution. Day or night, they have the strength and courage to fight back. With open eyes to find the light. Together they will have the power to control. Water, fire, earth, and air, Guardians unite! They are witch! They are witch! Our world is more than what we see. There's danger that lies beneath. They fight to protect the free. Fire, water, fire, earth, and air. They have to protect the free. Water, fire, earth, and air. Guardians unite! They are witch! They are witch! They are witch! The band played on, hard and heavy, for another few stanzas. Lillian seemed to glow for a second. Then, the whole video took on a frosted look, and they realized the teen girl made it snow. Inside the studio. Merry Christmas, witch! She and all cool blue cried together, and the video ended. Hay and the others looked at each other, dumbfounded. The preschoolers were all yelling, Again, again, again! Ayla mutely pressed play on the remote in her lax hand, and the three-song video started over. Now, we know why he was avoiding us. Try ever the logical one there. She must have been practicing that for weeks. The song or the snow? Yes, Cornelia replied to both. A room looking like it had flooded a few weeks ago suddenly makes sense. She had stopped by to see her mother and sister one afternoon, to find Lillian operating a pair of hair dryers like an Old West sheriff on her comforter in the middle of the hallway. Then Lillian told her older sister that she wanted to change Chloe, who was resting on a potty train like a Marine under torture to the bitter end, so he had to use a different bed. Then Mom said Little's room would suddenly go uber quiet right after she got a phone call. She turned to Hay. Something tells me she learned your airwalk trick. She might have seen me use it while I was seeing all three of the elder kids, Hay said sheepishly. I put them all for a nap, then noise-proofed the room so they actually sleep. No helping it, you guys, Will said fatalistically. Our little hearts growing up.
just like Ellie did, figuring out her powers. I guess we better buckle down and teach it for Will, huh?
You're not just saying that because you're married to a regent, right? Irma asked. Well, one of them anyway.
Two, if you count Huggles. Cornelius smirked. Honestly, Will, how long are you guys going to keep that dormouse anyway? Turn him loose, like my dad did with Napoleon, when he started to eat out his house and home.
The other guardians laughed, remembering when Lillian's cat familiar had developed an alarming affinity for pork, to the point of eating over $100 worth a week just for his hand fix. That was when Harold Hale put his hoof down and his daughter's freezing out the door for good.
What? It break old Jim Olsen's heart? Will countered. He still takes over Core first whenever he comes over, and even when he's there just to spoil Mallory.
Will looked fondly over her daughter, hair as red as her mother's, as the little tomboy was thumb wrestling with Iggy Cook, trying to decide to keep her maiden name. And Nigel agreed. He said it was too perfect a name for a guardian of fire anyway.
We're all still surprised that Huggles has lived this long, actually. Reese Hood sighed. He was just a regular dormouse. Don't, he uttered, grabbing Will's arm. I hope he's the last one Lillian takes her power from. A long time now. We've lo- lost a lot of loved ones enough, don't you think?
All of her friends engulfed the teary-eyed air girl at once, muttering assurances. Will emphatically told her that they would keep Huggles, safe and comfy, as long as he was willing with them. One more time? Trying to ask the others, as the old video reached its end again. Harris all nodded, as he nabbed the remote from Halen long enough to play again. Looks like that too was the kid's limit, though. I'll take him to the playroom, gang. Be right back. So he handed a fussy Kyle up to Halen from where the two little girls had abandoned him on the beanbag chair, and led the trio of 4-year-olds into a room of toys Hay had accumulated as a stay-at-home painter babysitter. The free-spirited girl had even managed a set of prints, of the 3 older kids no less, that had ended up on the walls of the local pediatrician's office, to the other guardians' delight.
He's just hungry,
Helen said, snuggling back into her chair with her son. She tucked up her shirt and guided him in for lunch at her local dairy section, as Eric had started calling her improved bus line. Then settled in, surrounded by her friends, to watch the departed love of her life perform holiday favorites, and a special song just for them. From all of us to all of you, we at W.I.T.C.H wish you a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. Well, what can we say? It's Christmas, and this was well written, well characterized, and a nice look into a possible future. Sometimes it won't always be happy. Sometimes bad things can happen. But as long as we got friends, we can keep ourselves together. Well, I'll see you next time, guys.